Let's discuss HBase. So HBase stands for Hadoop database. It is inspired by Google white paper. Big table white paper. So there is a big table white paper, and HBase was basically inspired by this white paper. And this white paper actually talks about a table having millions of columns and billions of rows. So if you have such kind of table, huge table, it cannot fit in relational database. So there where we need a technology which can handle this much amount of data, this much scale of data. So that's why HBase was created. We say that it is part of Hadoop, but also it is considered as part of NoSQL database. So it's a NoSQL database, and it is column family oriented database. Now, what is column family? We are going to discuss that. But for the time being, I will move on and we will come back to this point, column family. What is column family? HBase is highly scalable and it is basically optimized for large amount of data. So you can store petabytes of data. In year 2010, Facebook also started using HBase for storing Facebook Messenger related data. And Messenger, like there are so many conversations going on, and the data which is being stored on the cluster is huge, and it was storing 135 petabytes of data in year 2010. And there were so many users using HBase. So HBase shines when we talk about millions of inserts per second. So this is a beauty of this technology. So if you have millions of inserts per second, so let's say Facebook Messenger example, if there are like millions of inserts happening in 1 second, HBase is very good technology for that. It can handle that much scale very easily. HBase is very good for random access. So again, coming back to my example of Facebook Messenger, in Facebook Messenger, if you see we can do random read, random write. So let's say I say hi to someone. So this is like a small data, and if I am having any conversation, then on the HBase cluster, I am going and I am reading that data. I am reading the chat history. I am storing this hi on the HBase cluster. So it's like random read, random write kind of use case, or random access use case. So it's very good when it comes to random access because it's a database, and databases are very good for random read, random write. But let's say we have HDFS. HDFS is a file system, and HDFS file system is basically very good for sequential access. Let's say this is my HBase, and it is also built on HDFS. And HDFS is a file system, and HBase is a database which is built on HDFS. You can use other file systems also, but we are not going there right now. Just understand this thing. HDFS is providing fault tolerance due to replication, and also it is providing horizontal scalability to HBase. And on top of that, HBase is able to achieve many things like these functionalities that I mentioned. You can update data in HBase, which was basically not possible in HDFS as such, unless or until you go with a Hive and ORC combination. But generally speaking, like HDFS does not support update, but HBase supports update functionality. Apart from that, HBase is very good when it comes to sparse data. Very good for sparse data. Sparse data means when we have a table, big table, and most of the data is empty. So let's say this table is representing user and movie reviews. So which user liked which movie? So you have millions of movies and billions of users. So each user cannot see all millions of movies. So this will be a sparse table. And such kind of sparse data, HBase is very good because HBase does not incur any penalty or does not consume any space in the file system or in HDFS, or like when it stores the data, it does not store the missing data. Like in RDBMS, when we store null, then null also consumes some space in RDBMS. But in HBase, sparse data does not consume any space. So that is the beauty of using HBase. Apart from that, HBase is good when we talk about the fixed access patterns. So HBase is good when we have well-known fixed access patterns. So when I say well-known fixed access pattern, that means, let's say your predicate or where clause is fixed. You know that how you want to retrieve data, and you know application access pattern. So you know your application will read data in a certain manner. Coming back to the example of Facebook Messenger, in Facebook Messenger we have this random read, random write, and we know that when we are having any conversation, then user A is talking to user B. So that is basically a fixed query. So basically, if you see the where clause, in where clause you will have where user ID 1 equals to question mark and user ID 2 equals to question mark. So there where, like we say, we have fixed access pattern. Now apart from that, there are many other cases where HBase will be used. Now coming to the point, like when we should avoid using HBase. So HBase is not for ad hoc analysis. So HBase not for ad hoc analysis. Ad hoc analysis means when our access pattern, application access patterns are not fixed, and you will be firing queries based on different where clauses on the database. So then the HBase will not give you the good performance. HBase is not having any secondary index concept. So we do have that concept, but that is like a workaround. But actually, truly speaking, it has only one primary key. Only one primary key, or we call it row ID. So this primary key is giving you the best performance. If you fire queries based on this primary key, you will get the best performance. But if you change the where clause and you try to do ad hoc analysis, then you are going to have issues with HBase. So that's why I'm saying it's fixed access pattern when row key is fixed. So there were a lot of big data projects, a lot of HBase projects, they fail because initially when HBase schema was designed, it was designed for fixed access pattern. But later on, business changed the requirement and they started to retrieve data from HBase from different perspectives. But this technology is not designed for that. So then the solution is to either duplicate this data into another HBase table with a different row key based on which you are firing the query, but that is like duplicating big data. So then maintaining both big tables is very difficult in case you are changing your access patterns. So that's why we say that HBase is not good for ad hoc analysis. We have other technologies like Impala, which is good for ad hoc analysis. Ideally, we should not be comparing storage technology versus analysis technology, but I am just thinking aloud, like this can be like Impala on HDFS can be one possibility to implement ad hoc analysis. Okay, apart from that, we have another limitation. It's not for sequential access. So when you want to read data from beginning to end, like not optimized for. So in this case, HDFS is better choice because here the block size in HDFS is much larger, 128 MB by default, or you can change it. In HBase, the block size is small, like 64 KB. So whenever we talk about random read, random write, the block size, the unit of data through which we are retrieving should be small. But in case of HDFS, the block size is large. Okay, apart from that, it has limited support for transactions. So in HBase, you can just perform transaction at a row level, limited support for transactions. Apart from that, in HBase, there is no support for SQL, which is inbuilt. So you have workarounds. You can use Hive on HBase. You can use Impala on HBase. You can use Phoenix on HBase. So it does not provide any SQL query language. It has operations like get, put, scan, delete, increment. So these kind of operations are there, but you cannot use other things, right? So these are some of the operations. You can use Phoenix on HBase. So Phoenix is basically like a technology which is a thin skin over HBase. So it's a wrapper over HBase and it is giving very good performance on HBase. Or if you want low latency, like latency in millisecond, then you may go for Phoenix on top of HBase, which is giving you SQL on top of HBase. So these are workarounds. Okay, so apart from that, we should avoid joins in HBase. So there where we have concept of column family. So hope this gives you an idea when to use HBase and when to avoid HBase and what is HBase. After this, we are going to cover column family concept in HBase. And also we will be looking into the HBase table and HBase namespace. These terms will be clarified.